Hi, I'm Siobhan, wife, educator, and a sister. Welcome to Table Talk, where you'll be able to find practical everyday uses with resources here on this channel. Welcome. Today's session is all about introducing students to the word family. First, I'll introduce the concept and explain why it's important, and then I'll show you clips of how it's used in the classroom and how you can practice this skill at home with your child or another student that you're working with.
Sometimes you'll see a word. Dr. Seuss does it often in a lot of his stories, The Cat in the Hat. He's teaching how to read through word families. And so there's a company and they have a phonics program, and I grew up using them. I used them first couple of years of teaching, and they're just solid in what they do. So this week I've introduced students to the at family, the add family, and the and family. I can find several words that have at, add, and at the ending. And in this instance, I'm going to call this a rhyme because typically the endings are going to be the same. For example, I could say hat. And what rhymes with hat? Bat. What rhymes with bat? Cat. What rhymes with cat? Pat. And so initially, when students know sounds, when they know all of their alphabetic sounds, a, b, k, d, s, k, whatever it is, all the way through, you literally can teach them to spell through sound, three letters specifically in the beginning until they learn about silent E, long vowels versus short vowels, and things like that. But for the beginning, um, teaching word families will help them be confident in what they're reading because they'll understand that I can see the rhyme there. I'm understanding how the blending is occurring. And blending is when I'm putting everything together. I'm taking the sound at, pat. I'm able to blend it together. And I know that all I'm doing is changing the beginning sound. The p becomes k, k becomes b, and the at stays the same. Hence the word families. They're a family. They're always together with that at. And add would be words like had, and the rhyme had rhymes with bad, and bad rhymes with lad, a boy. Again, if I'm in the and family and I'm teaching the rhyme, and rhymes with can, rhymes with van. I cook with a pan. And so that's another thing is as you're teaching these word families, you can throw out clues and see if they can figure out what will be another word that goes with that family. We have the add
Watch as I
family.
demonstrate how this works.
Mad rhymes with
Sad.
sad. Yes, spell sad then.
SAD.
Okay, listen. If this is mad and this is sad, oh, your mama says you are being very bad. How would you spell bad?
B-A-D.
B-A-D. Now, the cool trick of knowing the add family is when I know all of these endings, then I can read it very, very what? Fast or quickly. All right, so read this first word. That word is
Mad.
perfect. Here's the next family. This is the and family. Listen. An, an. A-N. Okay. Chase has a dad, and that means he is a
Man.
He is a who?
Man.
Man. So spell man.
M-A-N.
M-A-N. Well, sometimes when you get picked up, you might ride in a
Van.
in a van. Spell van.
V-A-N.
Now look, we did the add family. Now we learned about and family. Give me this word. This was
Can.
man.
Van.
Van. The last family we're going to talk about is what we did last week. It was the at family. All right, at. Remember, it's at. All right, give me a word that was in the at family. What do you have? Cat. All right, rhyming. Cat rhymes with? Bat. And bat rhymes with?
So here you get the gist of what we're doing. All I'm doing is taking the families and they're giving me examples of what would fall in that family. And as you can see, the kids were catching on to the patterns.
At, and, add. It's in a family, and they're a family. Why? Why are they in a family?
So they can rhyme words.
They're rhyming words, and they all look
alike.
The only thing that changes is the beginning. What? The
First
first letter, right? Good. All right, let's read all of our words that we come up with. We have mad. Then I went to what family? The and family. And this is
Can, man,
Well, then we did at. So we were saying
cat, bat, fat, hat.
Are y'all with me? Now
Yes.
Miss Daisy's going to trick you.
Ooh.
And you're not going to know what I'm going to use.
Now
I'm
you'll
gonna pick a
notice that
random
in
one.
teaching this,
What
I
would
can give
this
nonsense
word be? It's
words
a made-up word.
that are not real words, that
Made-up
make-believe
word.
words, and students will be able to read it in their
All right,
more
let's
fluid
not trick
manner
again.
because they
Make up one.
recognize that
What would
that's
this
a family, that it'll have that same ending when they see a unpopular word.
Red.
be? Rad. What about if I did rat? So you can read
This
any
is
kind
the
of
goal
words.
with wanting to build a fluent reader, that they know their letter sounds, they're able to blend it, read both make-believe and real words.
Sure. After I've taught that concept, again, I teach concepts typically in isolation. What is the skill? What is the point? What's the phonics that I'm wanting you to understand? Then we'll do an activity that goes with it. You taking it in isolation and you're wanting the student to apply what you're teaching, because you want everything to kind of come together. And believe it or not, just as phonics is a progression in reading, it's the same thing with reading an actual book. Books are typically leveled, like this is a level I book. If I were working on word families, typically I will see word families within levels B, C, D, E, because even as authors, they know that students are beginning readers. They're just learning about the phonics in general. They're knowing that students are still working on blending words together. And word families are typically easier words for students to blend and know how to read. So not only are we teaching the concept in isolation, showing how to blend words, because it is a concept that students really have to understand what's happening. And once it clicks, I don't know what happens in their head, but after teaching it in isolation, working with it, eventually they catch on and then they're able to apply it in literal text. One activity that I did with students this past week was we worked on the at family. So today, if I worked with these same group of students, it would be a review of the at family and an introduction to add and and. And because I'm working with these students for only 3 weeks, I'm doing what would typically be done maybe over a span of time in a quick amount of time, and they're keeping up with me because they've seen this before. If I were doing this to a lower group of students like kindergarten, first grade, I probably would only introduce one word family at a time. But because they're second graders and just needing more support in phonics, I'm going at a more of aggressive amount. So introducing two at a time or three at a time, and they're keeping up with me because they're understanding what I'm doing. So there is a workbook or the phonics program that can be ordered, and it'll have a sheet that looks like this. So for example, I'm doing the add and family. And because I'm doing the add and family, I'll typically give the students time to color the paper, just as the student did. They colored We're working on the at family, so this is a bat. So they'll color all of the pictures just so it's done for them. And what I like about this is because it'll lead to a word sort where the students are sorting by the families. Um, they've done the at family, and I had them to keep their cards in a baggie because today I'm going to introduce the add and. They can sort now 3 different categories, which makes it a little more challenging, but it also will help me to know whether or not they're understanding the concept. Um, Here are a couple of games that can be played with word families. And no, you don't have to have this particular workbook that I received these cards from, but what you can do are type these out, cut them up, or you can use regular note cards, and I've done that before also. There are words like fat and mat. You could go to Google and print out images. Like this is showing that a man sat. This image is showing a man sat. This is showing a man that is fat. So what you're doing is you're connecting the picture with the actual written word, and the students can do several things. One game that we play is called Memory, and I will insert or upload a video on that game. But the students love that game, and it's just like the regular game Memory. Basically, the students are to flip all of the cards down where they can't see them, they mix them around, and they put them in rows that look the exact same. So typically, like 6 and 6 and 6 and 6, or depending on how many cards are in that particular set, is how you're going to order them.
So here you'll see that students are playing the game Memory. They flip the cards over just like in the real game. They're flipping up 2 cards, saying the word, looking at the picture, and seeing if they have a match. If they have a match, they get to take their cards and put them to the side. If they did not find a match, then they have to flip it back where they found it. The person who has the most cards at the end of the game wins. And the kids are really excited while playing this game. It's a great game
What
to
are your
play.
words?
Please notice also that I am teaching 2 groups. They're being able to work with a partner, so it's also teaching communication, working together. This can be played one-on-one with the teacher or the parent and their child, or the kid can play this game by themselves.
Another one is called speed sort. And so all you do is you would maybe do a note card, and at the top you would write at. If I'm doing 3 sorts today, like they're going to have add words and words, then I would have 3 note cards, one that said at, one that said add, and one that said and. And all the students are going to do is they're going to make a stack with their cards. Hopefully it'll be much neater than this, but they would just stack the cards that have been mixed together, and you can tell them to pull 6 from the at family, 6 from the add family, 6 from the and family, and mix them up together. And a speed sort is literally that. They're going to read the word or say the picture as quickly as they can and put it in the correct word family. I gave each of you headers. So one header is N, one is and one is yes. Now all of these words, even these, take these out of the bag also, and you're going to sort these with where they go. So like, what is this word? This word is mad. Would it go? Yeah. Oh yeah, because it has the add. Makes sense? So then you find the picture that matches it. Does that make sense? What about this one though? What's that word? Okay, where would that go? Exactly. Entiendes? Does that make sense? That's what you're doing. You're sorting. This is called a word sort. Thank you for joining in today's Table Talk session. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. See you next time here on our next Table Talk session.